We know and appreciate that South Africa is well endowed with talent, creativity and innovation. We move now to what's happening in the world of theatre. And the Soweto Theatre will be staging a production of We Shall Sing for the Fatherland. It was written by the legendary South African playwright Prof Zakes Mda. And the play is about veterans returning to a civilian society that either ignores them or treats them as garbage. Before giving away too much, we're joined in studio by actor Warren Masemola and Mathews Rantsoma. Good afternoon to you and thank you so much for joining us. I should say multi-award winning. Please forgive me for not edifying you properly. But Warren, again, a production I'm sure that is not to be missed, very relevant in these times, particularly if you look at the plight of the returnees from exile, expatriates that thought they would be rewarded, for lack of a better word, for their role in the struggle. Talk us through the play.
So in the play We Shall Sing for the Fatherland, you find two veterans from a war called the Wars of Freedom. So they went out into exile so that they could liberate the country. And they come back to the country, South Africa, the play was written in 1979. They come back to South Africa and to realize that they are not recognized and nobody actually acknowledges them. They find a home for themselves in a very beautiful, neat and clean park in a soon closed post-apartheid. And that's where the two soldiers live. It's a sergeant major and his young soldier who was really one of the bravest who served under his command. And the two of them just live by a bench in a posh park in Johannesburg and reminisce on the life that they fought for, which is the life that they do not see on an everyday-to-day basis while sitting on this bench in this park.
Yeah. What is the significance for you of this particular play, notwithstanding that, of course, it's written by Zakes Mda, it's an adaptation of one of his novels? It is still very prominent in the political space, where we look at some who feel that they have been disenfranchised, marginalized, yet they've given so much of their lives.
For me, it represents, in a way, their voices. You know, they finally get to say something that they have been going through for a long time. Because imagine if all the former MK soldiers were not even recognized, like at all, not even by their own families. Like, they live in a park, these people. They struggle every single day. They have to do burglaries here and there to survive, have to survive on really just, I wouldn't say glorious food that would fit their kind of stature. It's really, really painful to see those two characters go through that, but for me it represents that voice that we're giving them. And
also to add to your question is the current issue that we still currently face. I mean, since then, post-apartheid, newfound freedom, 94, up until now, you have elders who have fought for things that they cannot advocate for. And generally in South Africa, when you are younger than an elder and you're trying to voice your concerns, you are quickly shut up or quietened down. So you find the challenges between a sergeant major and a young soldier challenging each other to say, yes, we fought for this, but we are not getting what we fought for, and what should we be fighting for today, and what are we fighting about today, and if it was war that we won, and where are the fruits of the war that we fought for if this country is not giving us what we thought we would be rewarded with when we come back to the country. And it is still relevant and prevalent to today, because you find it in multi-political parties when the youth say so-and-so did not do so much. Yes, they fought for so much, but they do not advocate it and they do not stand for it as much as they say they fought for it. And that's why you find it like it's a bit of a clash between elders and youth advocating for freedom, because in the show, the title We Shall Sing for the Fatherland, it speaks to that. It is elders who fought for freedom for the country to sing for their fatherland, and they come back and they cannot sing for the fatherland, and the youth say we shall sing for the fatherland.
Yeah, but it's quite an emotive one. It's not necessarily, it's a conscious, purposeful expression of art, but yet touching on very pivotal issues, and which are legitimate expectations. I mean, if you had given of your life and personal sacrifices and not to be appreciated or recognized, I'm sure would be something, a bitter pill for anybody to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, there's also one of the lines in the dialogue of the script that says, we were at war. Yes, not everybody dies at war. Some people died, and some people who were your soldiers in arms, they died before you, next to you. They were dying all over the place, dying so that you and I can have freedom, so that we could live, man. So let's enjoy our freedom. But yet it speaks to how the freedom that they fought for is not purely enjoyed, because it's almost like we've gone back to where we've started. So, so what they fought for, what we are fighting about right now, and what makes current issues, what people are saying about the passing of Mangosuthu Buthelezi, you know, what is mentioned, what is not mentioned, what he fought for, what everybody has an opinion about everything around his passing and etc., is prevalent and relevant to the issues that we're talking about currently in society that concerns everybody's life on a daily.
And what concerns many lives, especially those who are eligible to vote, and maybe for the first time as well, is the question, we don't necessarily have a lot of options. You know, if you look at maybe the top 5 parties, depending on what your affiliation is, but the debate, I think what we need to appreciate is the fact that we can have these conversations, even if it's around reparations or we want about the issue of land. Obviously it has to be done within the ambit of the Constitution. Nonetheless, these debates have a voice. They have prevalence in society. Do you think that is a sign of a maturing democracy, or do you think we're still uncomfortable in dealing with things of equality and redress of the past?
I think more than anything we are questioning. We are asking the questions that we don't normally get to ask, or did not ask back in the day before this democracy was a democracy. I think it's more people starting to wake up more and more every day, starting to realize that actually there are certain things that we shouldn't even accept. I mean, if my vote is my voice, shouldn't it be clear? Shouldn't it be known that this is his voice, this is what he's saying? Can we make it happen? Will we make it happen?
Yeah, it also speaks to freedom of speech. I mean, in the show We Shall Sing for the Fatherland, you find a problem between the two war veterans. I mean, it's in the wording, the veterans of the wars of freedom, not one, but many wars of freedom, where they are faced with a character of an officiri, which is an officer pronounced in South Soweto, and you know, officers oppressing these guys for just expressing themselves freely and moving freely and thinking even freely, and just as they're exploring their thoughts, or just how to maneuver all the plans that they put together for their sense of freedom that is not accepted by the general society. There is already somebody put in place to control them. So it makes it difficult for them to sing for the fatherland, and it makes it difficult for people today to sing for their fatherland, because when they do sing for their fatherland, in whichever way they are quickly blogged, you know, about the type of sexuality it is, the type of political affiliation you are on, the type of car or lifestyle you are living, your background, how you speak your English, and etc.
Yeah, and I think our multiculturalism and our diversity is meant to unite us, but I know that depending on your lived experience, it's human nature to want to preserve that which you've always had as a means of survival, not only to procreate, etc. So there's another documentary, it's called the Fatherland, which speaks, you know, of the preservation of a certain group of Afrikaners, etc. How does this then compare, if at all, or can you juxtapose the two, but representing different interests?
So in the approach in the theatre play We Shall Sing for the Fatherland, it speaks to, yes, we fought for our freedom as the people of Azania before the Republic van South Africa, and so much as the Fatherland, the Doki, would be preserving their culture, but it should speak to unison, because this is the common thing that we find difficult to come to as South Africans. You know, you have groups that say, yes, we have a newly found freedom in South Africa, but people haven't said sorry, and it makes it difficult for people to go through life, because you have a child that all they've been exposed to is growing up in a farm in Limpopo, and everybody in their family and a household has an Afrikaner name, Franz, Kuobas, Yaku, Peter, you know. But like, if we can't mend things to be as one, and for that child to understand the found freedom that we achieved in '94, then we are not mending much or fixing much. It's just really changing the flag from what it used to be to a new flag that still carries the same issues that we go through day to day as people of the country.
Yeah. So as we bid you guys farewell and goodbye, you premiere on the 17th of September.
Yeah.
And this is at the Soweto Theatre, which is a magnificent theatre, by the way. If you haven't gone.
The Gibson Kente Theatre at the Soweto Theatre,
yes,
celebrating another legend, Gibson Kente. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, of course, he had nurtured so much talent, not only on stage but even on television. So, what can people then take away? I mean, it's open night, a lot of pressure, but you guys being such seasoned actors.
The show is on until the 1st of October. It's literally 12 shows, and 4 shows out of the 12 shows are already sold out. And it's flexible. There are day shows, there are evening shows. So Fridays and Saturdays we are on in the evening, 6:30 on Fridays and 7:30 on Saturdays. And any other time it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. So what people will take from there is freedom, the sense of freedom. You know, like every other freedom fighter fought and is still fighting for some sense of freedom. And they will find their sense of freedom that they should continue fighting for if they haven't found their own freedom.
Okay, let's give the last word to the young lions.
Listen, when you work with elders, you must allow them. Our
elders, our tool. Go ahead. Mathews, just what people can take away, or maybe even your own personal growth, not only as a professional, but as an individual living in this complex movie called South Africa.
You know, sometimes you feel like an extra at some point in South Africa, and then at some point you're like, everything is on me. What I would love people to take away from this, apart from everything that we'll be doing, every word that we'll be saying, every piece of advice that is embedded in the play, every small voice that is there inside that play, what I want them to take away is the freedom of expression. It's not lost. It's still yours. It's still your mouth. You can
we should still be able to sing
for the fatherland.
That's it. We have personal agency. Almost said Amanda.
Amanda, you are allowed. That's how you say for the fatherland. Amanda,
Amanda, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to even do that. Yeah, let's just keep it clean. All right, Warren and Mathews, really appreciate it. So the play is called We Shall Sing for the Fatherland, and it is at the Soweto, the Gibson Kente Theatre in the Soweto Theatre precinct, and that's from the 17th of this month until the 1st of October. Make sure you don't miss it.